Okay, guys, we're going to get started. I just want to say a big thank you for being here. Thanks for coming. If you don't know me, I'm Jamie, and I'm here to hopefully show you some new stuff in regards to Talkatoo. And our mission here is to save you some time on your medical records. And it's my absolute pleasure to be here to help guide you through some new concepts today. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a chat bubble at the bottom. So if anything comes up for you during this call, please fire away in the chat and I'll be sure to answer it throughout the call. And I usually keep everybody muted till I get through all the new stuff. And then at the end, we can come off mute and we can do some Q&A and hopefully solve some problems. And just want to say a huge thank you for being a customer and for being here and for supporting us. I hope you get some value out of this one. I'd like to start off here on our website, which I'm sure many of you have been to before. And I want to show you some updates to our web app. And our web app is, of course, our note inbox where most of us submit our notes to. This is where our phone calls might end up, where our SOAP notes might end up, our discharges that we create with Talkatoo. Our inbox is our home base, always. A couple of things I want to point out here in the web app. We recently updated the web app to include filters button up here. So if you've been using AutoSOAP for a long time, you've been archiving your notes over the last weeks, months, maybe years, the filters button at the top is new, and it's actually new across all platforms. So the note inbox has this functionality here where you can look up older notes from a different time range, and you can check off the status of the notes. So if you've completed and archived your notes, that's how you can find them. And that's true now on your iPhone or your Android or in our web app here. So just want to call out that redesign. And if you haven't explored it, it's kind of neat. And the other thing I want to talk to you about here is there's actually a help button in our website. And not everybody knows about it. And there's a few cool things inside of it that you can click on. And if you feel like you haven't got enough out of this call, if you need to do a one-on-one with our team sometime, at the bottom left of our website, you can click this help icon. And you can book a one-on-one training with us right here. And I just want to call that out. So please feel free to connect with us this way. There's also some help articles in here. And most importantly, there's this feedback and ideas portal. And if you have ideas for us or feedback, click there and let us know what you're thinking. Just want to call that out because it's kind of hidden and it's a handy way to get in touch with us. Awesome. So the first new update I want to show you in our web app is actually up here in the settings page, which most of you have probably visited in the past. Clicking the settings gear here now takes you, rather than directly to your templates, actually takes you to your global settings. And global settings is a collection of settings here for text that comes out in your templates. So there's three options now, and in the past we only did rich text. So what does this mean? If you've been using AutoSOAP and in the past you've set up maybe bold text for your body systems or maybe bullet points, and you haven't been able to get these transferred over to your practice management system by the time you've copied and pasted in or maybe dragged and dropped in, there's some new settings here. So visiting the settings page, you can choose your preferred global setting. And if you're on Cornerstone, very shortly, likely next week, I was hoping to have it ready to show you today, but it's probably going to be next week. This rich text output is going to work inside of Cornerstone, which is a huge update for a lot of people who use Talkatoo. Same for EasyVet. If you're using EasyVet, choosing Markdown for your global setting is a great step. It's going to actually print everything out with the correct Markdown, which will then translate into those bold headings or those bullet points that you've been missing ever since you got it. So global settings is really an update for those who are not able to get the formatting options they'd hoped for out of Talkatoo. And if you're on other PIMs, you'll likely benefit from using plain text. So do come in here and pick your setting that you think fits. And if you have questions about it or need advice, you can reach out to us always. But this is a really exciting update because it makes your notes look pretty, and everybody loves that. Beyond the global settings, there's some other changes here in the settings page. So if you click on your templates page on the left, that will bring you into where you've always been able to customize your SOAP note. And again, the call here is if you haven't been able to get that bold heading working, or maybe those bullet points that you've set up in the past, your global settings are likely going to help you achieve those formatting options. The change here is the other default templates that Talkatoo comes with, including the Simple Soap, Equine Soap, and Multi-Pet Soap. They now are here and available for you to customize. So click on the template you want to customize, and then you'll get the same formatting options you have on our Auto Soap template. So you can go bullets, you could go numbered list, you could turn rows off or on, and you can also hide or show your templates. So some feedback we've got over the last couple of months is when we're using Talkatoo on our phone or on our computer, however we choose to record the exam, if you're using a specific template, maybe it's a custom note that you've designed, or maybe it's one of our default templates. You've always had to choose your preferred template, unless you were using our default template. But if that's been the case for you, you can now disable the templates you don't need, including our basic SOAP template. So if you're just using a custom note, I recommend you come in here and disable all of these. That way your default template is going to be your custom note, or perhaps it's just your equine or maybe your Simple Soap, whatever you're using. So this is a really handy update, and it's going to save you time from selecting your preferred template on your phone or on your computer. Just to visualize that, I'm going to pop my phone screen up here and just give you an example of how this could be helpful. So if you are used to recording notes on your mobile device, maybe it's a tablet or it's a phone, it's always defaulted to the regular SOAP template. Now, if you were to go into your settings page in our website, you could set it up so any one of your other templates is the default. That way you don't have to click here and pick that template option. So that's really the benefit. And the same is true if you're recording from the desktop. If you're recording from the desktop app, you can also set it up as your default template option. Awesome. So takeaways here are global settings and some changes to the templates page. Speaking of the desktop app, one more thing that most people don't know about is if you're here in our web app, if you want to get to the desktop app quickly, you can actually launch it up here at the top right, just by clicking log in to desktop. And that will automatically open up your desktop app, which is a quick way to automatically sign you in. And from your desktop, you can record, of course, your SOAP notes. If you're not doing it from mobile, maybe you're doing it from your laptop or workstation in the room with the desktop app. You've always been able to select your templates here, just like you can on mobile. And if you're trying to pare down this list and get a specific template as your default here, that's where using the web app to limit the template options is super helpful. So just come to the template section and you can disable any default templates you don't want. Awesome. Okay. Let's see, what else is a couple changes in the web app as well, just formatting improvements. So in the past, there were some issues with bullet lists where bullet lists, there was never proper spacing around them. So you would find them kind of stacked up or scrunched up between each other. And now whether you're using a custom note or one of our default templates like this default template here, bullet lists will receive proper spacing in there. So that's also a nice improvement. And that's pretty well it for the web app this week. On the mobile app, I want to show you some other changes that are pretty cool. Let's see if I can pop my phone screen back up here for us. So if you're using an iOS device, this would be an iPhone or an iPad potentially. The note inbox has been redesigned. And it's important to know this if you're using an iPhone or an iPad. And if yours doesn't look like mine does, when you come into your note inbox at the bottom, just visit the App Store and make sure the app is up to date. So just search Talkatoo Up, and it will either say open or update, and definitely grab the update if it's available. This is the redesigned note inbox for iPhone or iPad, and what you'll see is similar options here as the web app. So you can filter, you can search, and you can also refresh. So there's a refresh icon here, and this will sync your inboxes up. So if you've made changes to a note in the web app, if you're looking at the note here in your mobile device or on the desktop, those changes should apply, and you can kind of pull down to refresh and ensure those changes have applied. The major changes here are on the right side of any notes that you've submitted. There's a little arrow on the right side. If you tap the arrow, you can actually complete and archive the note from here without having to click into the note. On top of that, your draft notes, they now store at the top of the device, and you can see all of your draft notes by clicking this arrow at the top. That will drop down all of the draft notes you have. And a draft note is one that you've backed out of or hasn't been submitted. And you'll see that a draft note doesn't get titled like your notes that have been submitted do. So if you've created a draft note, if you click on it, you can actually create your own title here. You can edit the title, and you could put in your own indicator of who this patient is. And when you back out of the note because you're not ready to submit it, maybe you want to add some more to it later in the day, backing out of the note will now show a title on the draft. And so if you are saving draft notes to look at later or add to later, make sure you add a title, and that way you can decipher which one is which. Awesome. And yeah, you do have to click this little arrow to see your draft notes. We've had some confusion just around where the draft notes are, and they're usually up here in your inbox. All right. One other change to the mobile app for iPhone or iPad, if you do make changes to your templates here, maybe you've disabled an option, or maybe you've actually added your own custom note, the list of templates on your phone will update. You won't have to restart the app. So previously, when you build a new template, you'd have to actually restart the app and come back in order to see it here in your list. It'll now just update and kind of populate in this list. Just exit out of the list and click back into it, and you should see your new template option. The biggest fix for iOS devices in the last couple of weeks has been the white screen error. So if you're an iPhone user, you've tried to make a note and you got a white screen. We've fixed that. And if you're seeing that, please let me know or let us know, and we can try to help you with that. For Android devices, the biggest update is in regards to the call summary feature. If you don't know about call summary yet, it is a feature on the mobile app. So you have to have our mobile app installed, and it's on the far right-hand side of the app. And when you set it up, it allows you to make calls on the mobile app. And some feedback we've heard over the last couple months as people have started using it is it's painful to type the number in, because you have to find the number from your contacts, come back to the app and type it in manually. So just a quick screen grab here. On Android, you can now copy a number and paste it into the field at the top, and it saves you from having to type the number in manually. We do have a lot more coming to improve call summary and make it easier to use. That addition is just for Android. It's coming to iPhone very soon. And if you don't have this functionality yet, just visit the Play Store on your Android device, and there should be an update available. Another common issue that people were seeing was you'd make a phone call, you'd hang up, and you would kind of get stuck on the dialer screen. That's been updated as well in the new version. So encourage you to check out the store for any new updates and give it a try. If you need help setting up the call summary at all, you can just always book a meeting with us right here, and we can assist you. And if you haven't been using it yet, it's really great because it kind of masks your cell phone number, displays the clinic telephone number when you make the call, and then it will create a note for you in your inbox. And of course, your inbox can be seen here from the desktop app or from the web app. And this is what a call summary would look like. You'll still get your audio and your transcript as well. Awesome. Okay, couple more recent changes I just want to double click on in case anyone hasn't been using My Words lately. My Words has been updated to apply to like your auto soap notes, your callbacks that you might make through Talkatoo, and to your direct dictation. So My Words has always existed, but it was never linked up to all the features. It was only linked to the desktop dictation experience. So if you haven't seen it before, it's your 3 dots on the desktop app and My Words. And here you can type a term in, hit enter on your keyboard, and then moving forward, it should spell that word correctly in all of the notes that you make with Talkatoo. Great. And then, of course, I'll just quickly show you our assistant mode. Of course, if you haven't explored this, it's the tab on the top right of your Talkatoo. And when it's expanded, you can drag it around from the top like so. When it's collapsed, you can drag it around from the white space in between. With your assistant, this is really great for building templates, writing emails, creating discharge summaries. You can just prompt Talkatoo and ask it to create something. You can type or talk to it, and you can actually save things from the assistant into your inbox. You could also take something from your inbox and you could paste it into your assistant. So you could paste it in with Control V, and you could ask it to shorten this, translate it, put it into bullet points. And so you can type your requests in here, hit enter, and then let the AI do its work. And when you've got a result, you can either save it to your inbox, storing it back here for later in the day to be used, or you can actually copy or drag it out using this copy button right here. Cool. Just a quick refresher on the assistant. Awesome. So that covers all the latest updates. We do have some more coming this month. Find and replace is coming to the web app. So when you're looking at your notes, if you need to look up a term and highlight it throughout the SOAP note, that's coming very soon. And then we also have the Cornerstone bold heading update coming as well. So if you weren't here at the very beginning of the call, the first thing I mentioned was global settings, which is in your settings page of the web app. And you can start by picking your preferred setting. If you're on Cornerstone, pick this one at the top. And in about a week's time, bold headings, bullet points, those will all be working. Just ensure you're copying the notes from the desktop app. So open your note here and drag, drop, or copy paste into the practice management system. All right. Just want to open up for questions in case I sparked anyone's interest or if anything didn't make sense. Feel free to come off mute or type into the chat. I'm here to guide you.
Hey, Jamie, I think I have something actually.
Awesome. Thanks, Kendall.
No worries. I've noticed in the past, as a rep when I'm visiting clinics, and that I have my laptop that I connect to my desktop. And I've noticed in the past when I'm disconnecting and connecting to the desktop, sometimes when I'm moving the collapsed Talkatoo button around on my desktop, depending, sometimes when I connect to the different screen, the whole Talkatoo button is off of the screen. So I know you have to move it using the white area. But sometimes that is just like it is hidden from the screen completely. And I'm not sure if there's like a way around that or a quick way to resolve that aside from like Control Alt deleting, ending the whole Talkatoo task and starting fresh.
Good question. Yeah, thank you for that. I think that's a pretty common issue. Yeah, I think it happens to the best of us. It can get dragged off screen or get tossed off to the side. So if you can't see it, but it's running, then it's difficult for you to open it up again from the desktop icon because it's running already. So when you click the icon, nothing happens. I'm on a Mac right now, obviously. And if you're on a Mac, you can see if it's running up here. You'll see the little icon for it. If you're on a Windows computer, at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen near the audio settings, there's an upside down V. It's like an arrow without a tail. And it's the equivalent of kind of this button where you can click it and you'll see the icon in there. And you can right click it and you can click quit. And then you can reopen from the icon successfully. That's the only way to do it as far as I know, Kendall, just because if it's running already but you can't see it, there's no way to kind of call it back into the middle of the screen without restarting it. And if you've been unable to restart it, you just need to hit that arrow, right click, and quit.
Okay, awesome. I did not even know it lived there in that taskbar. So that's very helpful. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. Anything you have running on the computer will be in that little menu from that arrow. So it's a good way to kind of like force quit or just shut something down. Awesome. Any other questions from anybody or any feedback? Done anything cool with the system lately you want to share? Hey, David, thanks a lot. Let's see. When you take a history, it doesn't do a great job with the timeline. Are you using our AutoSoap template, Dr. Lindquist, like this colorful one? Or are you using maybe a different one? Okay, cool. Yeah, it can be difficult at times to control the dialogue, right, with the client. Like sometimes it's difficult to be conscious of what Talkatoo is recording because we're trying to have a conversation, right? But our SOAP can only be as good as our transcript here at the top. And I often look at my transcript and have a read through and just make sure it's getting some sensible input, right? I think the best thing to do is just try to control your environment when you're having your conversation, and it really does help to record a bit on your phone before you even get into the room. If you can capture a brief history from the technician that they got before you get in there, that's handy because it's not really a conversation with the client. It's more of a direct dictation before you do enter that conversation that's a bit more sporadic. Just trying to capture as much as you can directly before you kind of enter the room and get into conversation, I find helps. And just reiterating facts kind of to the client as they're telling you things to try and control what Talkatoo is hearing is a good tip. But it can be difficult, and I'm sure you found, like, depending on the client and the conversation you had. Some are better than others, right? But I think, yeah, your SOAP can only be as good as your transcript, I think. So just trying to control what gets recorded is the best bet. If you get more, if you get more advanced, like you could make another template potentially that has more distinct sections for your subjective. So what I mean by that is, like, rather than just one paragraph here, with a specific template that you make, it might just have like a few different headings that Talkatoo needs to fill in for you. And that might control kind of like what goes there, rather than maybe too much in a paragraph. And that's always an option. We can kind of make you a custom template with specific headings in it. And yeah, of course, yeah, I totally understand. That's totally true. I know I've heard a lot of success from DVMs recording the technician's briefing of the history. I've heard that's helpful. So you could consider that as well. But yeah, some rooms are harder than others, right? Depending on the client in there. And of course, if you were to just dictate into the phone, kind of control the narrative a bit more, it definitely helps. Don't have any great advice for you, but those are a couple ideas that come to mind.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
Yes. When I'm dictating and I pause and then I resume, it deletes several words in the last few words I've dictated, and then it continues. Is there a glitch in the system, or am I doing something wrong, or do I need to go to the next line, or is that a common problem?
Thank you, Sue. Are you using Talkatoo to dictate directly into your chart, or are you using it to record an exam as the exam goes on?
Directly into the chart. So the exam is completed. The
Gotcha.
technicians put what's been recorded in the exam room into the chart. And then I'm dictating my assessment, my plan, and adding the record.
Gotcha. So you're using Talkatoo when it's collapsed like so, and you're clicking it on, and then you're clicking into the chart, right?
Right.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I have an idea for you. I'd love for you to try it this week if you get a chance. If you were to open up our assistant mode, so clicking the gray plus sign there and clicking assistant, try doing your dictation in here instead. And this allows you to do the same thing. So you don't have to get it templated in any way. You can just click start dictation and you can just start to talk. You can say assessment, colon, and then dictate your assessment findings. Or maybe you say, you could actually talk to it a little differently. This is the assistant dictation mode. So you could actually say, for example, you could say like, write me a problem list, number 1, X, number 2, Y, number 3, Z. You can kind of list them out that way. And try your dictation in the assistant window like this, turn it off. And I'm pretty sure you'll find some better results in here that you can just drag and drop into the chart. So there's a button right here, little square icon, and you can just drag and drop that into your chart. One extra step, but doing it in here, I think will fix all your problems and give you more accurate results.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much. And that's just that gray plus sign right there, Sue. Gray plus sign. And you can always toggle back to the regular dictation mode. When it comes to desktop dictation, it can be finicky. I absolutely would agree. One thing I'd say, if you're just going to dictate right into the chart, make sure you don't touch your keyboard when Talkatoo is listening. Stay hands off the keyboard. And because if you press a key or your mouse had highlighted something as you're doing the dictation, it could literally replace the words that you had already spoke, because it emulates your keyboard. It works exactly like your keyboard. So hands off is really the best way to go if you're just doing a direct dictation. But sounds kind of to me like a bug. So we'll have to look into that one. But I think the immediate solution would be try it in the assistant mode, and then you can just drag it and drop it right into your chart. And I think the accuracy from the assistant is going to be a lot better than just the collapsed mode. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. We'll do lots more of these and lots more updates coming. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for using Talkatoo and for being here.